Hey Exiles! Before we get into the farming strategies and my thoughts on 3.29, I want to go over all the upgrades I've made to the build since the last video, because it's in a much better spot now. The biggest upgrade was definitely the body armor. I finally fixed all of my mana issues, which freed up a bunch of passive points on the tree. That let me fit in 2 cluster jewels plus a completely new jewel setup, adding over 10 million DPS. Another huge change was getting apply an additional curse, which meant I could swap my amulet anoint for a much stronger option. I also replaced both rings. The old ones were basically placeholders, but these new ones gave me way more resistances, accuracy, and a nice damage boost on top of that. The biggest improvements, though, came from reworking the passive tree. I spent way too many hours in Path of Building trying different setups until I found one that massively increased my damage without sacrificing too much EHP. And now, with the mana issues completely gone, the build just feels smooth. Speaking of mana, if you watched my previous videos, you probably noticed my Cyclone would randomly stop spinning every now and then, especially when I wasn't close enough to enemies to keep my leech going. That was honestly one of the most annoying parts of the build. Thankfully, that's completely fixed now. I don't have to babysit my mana or leech anymore, it just works. At this point, I'd say the build is pretty much finished. And this is the version I used to test almost every major farming strategy in the league. I spent a lot of time farming Breach, ran tons of 8 mod maps, tested Delirium, Harvest, and also did a good amount of Cartography Scarab farming so I could compare the returns from each strategy. After putting in a lot of hours, I think I've got a pretty solid opinion on the 3.29 league overall. Personally, I'd call it a decent league, nothing amazing but not bad either. We didn't really get any completely new farming strategies compared to Mirage. Most of what we're doing now is just adapting the old ones. The league mechanic itself is pretty fun for leveling and low investment farming, but I honestly wish there was more endgame content, like new bosses or some really challenging encounters. As for the best farming strategies, and I'm not counting crafting here, I don't think much has changed compared to 3.28. If I had to rank them right now, I'd still put Breach at number 1, with Divination card farming being a very close second. Hopefully this video answered your questions about the new PoE, the build upgrades, and my overall thoughts on the farming meta in 3.29. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay sane, Exile.